Recording starts. Nice. Oh, who are those people up there? Wait, it's Geoffrey Haggis. Geoffrey says, resurrected and aware of your previous iteration. Fascinating. Okay, this wasn't Haggis from the simulation. He was on a couch in Realium. Okay, so this is the real world Haggis, not the simulation Haggis. Alright. I wasn't going to talk about his sick game of playing God. Geoffrey says, listen, I'll be happy to talk when I have a moment, but I'm here on business, so excuse moi. You are from Realium, right? Right now you are lying on a couch somewhere at BWI's real HQ. What are you doing here? Geoffrey says, the party is for a joint BWI CA project. Officially in the simulation. Very important guests are here from Realium unofficially. Wawipopo says, do you know that you've got a live clone in there? And a son? A wife? Geoffrey says, fooled you, did they? They're just AIs, they're excellent, right? Tell me one thing, Gamedec. What did you feel when you found out everything around you was a game? After all, it used to be your reality. Wawipopo says, shock and disbelief. To be honest, I still don't believe it. I think it's called being in denial. Geoffrey says, incredible. We talked a bit about how it could be for us and... Ah, here comes Mr. CEO. Okay, the CEO. John Naba, right? Geoffrey says, Gamedec, allow me to introduce my supervisor, President John Naba, PhD, CEO of Blue Whales Interactive, the real one from Realium. Alright, so the game first introduced me to 314 in the area around Yeti's coming. The character's name was Hiru Hamalau, but for some reason, when I talk about him in conversation, the name changed from Hiru Hamalau to John Naba, so I mistakenly thought that 314 was John Naba. I'm not sure if it's deliberate by the game or if it's a typo. John Naba says, good morning to you, sir. What an encounter. He lowered his glasses and looked at me over for a moment. Here's our game deck. I've heard about you. And believe me when I say the pleasure is all mine. Wawipopo says, good morning, Dr. Naba. Magnificent product. Congratulations, you almost had me fooled. John Naba smiled at me and then looked at Haggis. He says, that is all for now, Mr. Haggis. I shall join you in a moment. Geoffrey says, yes, of course. John Naba says, Haggis doesn't know he's got a clone in the simulation. Nor do some of the people at this party. Some of them just live in this world. I haven't fired this dimwit in Realium because there's another one in the simulation and it's too much hassle. Funny, isn't it? Wawipopo says, I assume it was Director Haggis who created most of our surroundings, and now his twin is a guinea pig. It is funny. John Naba says, alright, to the point then. This party is a cover for a key presentation. Potential clients will see what the simulation's capable of. Alright, so they hired the Gamedec to catch 314, right? So I assume 314 is a corporate spy, not our past iteration, right? Um, so why should I work together with 314? Shouldn't I just surrender 314 to the BWI guys so I can finish my mission and go back to reality? So I'm confused. Joe Naba says, holding it in Paradise Beach will add some panache. See, clients enter here from Realium and from here they go deeper to Haggis's villa. I hope you'll behave. Actually, it doesn't matter. Whatever you do is bound to be fascinating. I'm your biggest fan. Wawipopo says, where can I find the Diotron? John Naba says, Jester urged me not to trust you, but his opinion's just the analysis of an AI stuck in the simulation's bubble. I value actions over words. John Naba looked at me through his navy blue spectacles and let the last sentence sink in. Your target is the Diotron, a super couch. It's the only solution to each equation, no matter if you love us or hate us. Don't worry, your tenant can't hear us. Jester's blocking him. 314 is useless to us trapped in your head. We want him redispersed. So you can catch him? Alright. Well, I mean, if my original mission is to catch 314, why should I work together with 314? Just finish my mission and get back to reality. Right? John Naba says, you helped us find, see, and finally understand him, but we can't examine him. He thinks Diotron can give himself superpowers. We know this tool will prepare him to be extracted from your head. I hope you'll carry out the last act of this mission. Even if you don't trust us, you are still our agent. That's just how it is with nasty corporations. Jonaba gave me a sad smile. Alright, now I'm thinking, is 314 a corporate spy that the BWI wants to catch? Or is he a rogue AI? Which one is he? John Naba says, okay, enough chit-chat. Jester will release the gas in your head. If he's kept deaf and blind for too long, he'll become suspicious. So be careful what you say. Let's go. So, which ones are here? I mean NPCs, I mean simulation, and which ones are here? From Realium, I mean reality. How can I tell? John Naba says, see these couches? Our guests are lying on them. Big wigs, heads of PMF, private military forces, and agencies. All kinds of entities interested in learning human behavioral patterns in all kinds of situations. The nature of their work makes them less eager to ask how BWI managed to develop such excellent simulations. They see us as the leader of the AI market and they are good with that. Impressing them means they'll buy our service. where we offer them custom scenarios along with analysis. It's a great opportunity for BWI. What? Wawipopo says, so what is this presentation going to be about? John Naba says, the simulation is the first world in gaming history that allows you to enter sensory worlds from Realium. Acceleration lets you check a lot of iterations. We'll discuss this in the casual setting of Paradise Beach. Haggis's villa will be perfect. I hope the dimwit is lying down and looking after our guests. Most have already made it to the beach and I must soon join them. Wawipopo says, is it a good idea to hold such an important event with 314 on the loose, sitting inside my head and hatching a plan? Joe Naba says, no, but the dates for these meetings are arranged many months in advance. The CEO of Crystal Dust will see us as unreliable should he hear we've made a last-minute change to the meeting date. Besides, you've met yet Tick and Rick. They are alternative histories of his favorite mercs. We put them in just for him. Ah, okay. So in real life, Yet, Tick and Rick are mercenaries. In the simulation, Yet is a troll, a member of the troll group. Yet is a bartender in Yet is Coming. And Rick is a bartender robot. But in real life, they are mercenaries. Interesting. The CEO of Crystal Dust. Joe Naba says, Nanette Doucette, who we've enticed by preparing a scenario dedicated to her foundation, would also see us as unreliable partners. Okay, so Nanette Doucette. Alright. We have two BWI admin teams watching us, the Magnificent 3 and the Steadfast 6. That's what we call them. We'll be safe. The CEO gave me a lingering look. The fact that you are at this party proves that we place great stock in your actions and thoughts. We're hoping that 314 will show his hand, make a move that'll be impossible to miss, and that you'll help us catch him, Gamedec. Now I'm really curious. I'm really curious. Is 314 a rogue AI? A rogue program in the simulation? Or is he a corporate spy sent into BWI to steal information, and maybe he got caught, and then BWI is using the simulation to interrogate him or to dive into his mind? Maybe. But somehow 314 managed to escape and disperse himself. Which one is it? Wawipopo says, you are showing the simulation to Realium customers. Aren't you afraid of an actor in this circus suddenly yelling they are alive, self-aware? Jonaba smiled. You want to try? Go ahead. Wait, is the game deck implying? Alright, what the game deck just said. Is the game deck implying that 314 is a program, an AI, that has gone rogue in the simulation? John Naba says, let me tell you what will happen. The guests will nod their heads, awed by our brilliant AIs, and congratulate us. It'll be an event, an ad. My dear naive game deck, they're here looking for a good investment. They want to see a viable product. Nothing else matters. Wawipopo says, let's go, Mr. President. John Naba says, yes. Hey, is that a shark down there? There is a shark, right? Shit. John Naba says, to add some luster in the eyes of the simulation residents, that is, we've invited a few local celebrities. Do you recognize Ken Zhou? I listen intently while keeping my eyes on Ken and Eleonora's lips. What were they talking about? Alright, so Jonabe referred to them as local residents, so I take it that this Eleonora and Kenjo are AIs, right? They are simulation. Eleonora Haggis says, Mr. Zhou, how can you stand such excruciating pain? It's amazing, exhilarating to see you so. Ken Zhou says, Chief, can I call you that? Eleonora says, Boy, you can call me whatever you want. Wait, does she want to get plowed by Ken? Or maybe not. Ken Zhou says, it comes down to breathing and understanding that pain is just information. Once you master it, you know that it hurts, but it doesn't. Okay, I just want to point out from my conversation with the real Haggis, Geoffrey Haggis, I get the impression that in the real life, Geoffrey doesn't have a wife and a kid. But the simulation Geoffrey has a wife and a kid. Yeah, just want to point it out. Eleonora says, fascinating, and can you convince yourself that pleasure is just information? Ken Zhou laughed. He says, Chief, that's a dangerous question. I'd prefer I hadn't heard it, because now I might get into trouble. Eleonora says, there will be no trouble, I promise. I waved to Ken. He paused his conversation, smiled, and shot me with his fingers. Then he resumed his discussion with Eleonora. Jonaba says, sad, isn't it? He doesn't know you in this iteration. He achieved success in Gudabats, became a celebrity. Okay, so in the previous iteration, he failed his career. And he lost sponsors. And then he died. But in this current iteration, he's successful. Okay, so this Ken and this Eleonora, they are simulation, not from Realium. Wawipopo says, why doesn't Ken recognize me? I'm not sure I under. John Naba says, when you entered the Tree of Knowing in Knight's Code, Jester forced the simulation to reset. New scenarios were uploaded. This time, Ken's game wasn't interrupted. Many things changed for many people. You are the only simulation resident who remembers the previous. Oh shit! So I am a simulation. I am not real. What? So okay, I thought I am a real person in the real world, hired by BWI to dive into the simulation to catch 314, the rogue AI. But now I receive confirmation from John Naba. I am a simulation. I am not real. Alright. If I am a simulation and I am not real, then I have all the reason and all the motivation to not help BWI because I assume they'll just keep me in the simulation, right? But if I help 314, a fellow AI, a fellow program, a fellow simulation, then maybe 314 can bring me outside the simulation, escape. Where to? I don't know. Maybe we're going to escape to the larger internet, or maybe 314 has a plan to upload us into Mobrium, or maybe even a Gen skin. Jonaba says, "You are the only simulation resident who remembers the previous iteration. That's because you were in Axis Mundi during the reset. Okay. You can survive every end of the world in there." Wawipopo says, "Let's keep moving, Mr. President." Joe Naba says, "You'll be going alone from here. Here's a key card. It'll open the default entrance for you. It's the door over there. I must attend to the guests. I'll be entering Paradise Beach shortly. Do help us with 314. I'm counting on you." Wawipopo says, "Why don't you trust me, Mr. President? It's dang unreasonable." John Naba smiled inscrutably. "The pieces on the chessboard have been set up. Anything that happens is meant to happen. Keep in mind that we always have the ultimate option of pulling the plug. Good luck." So, the president is threatening me, a simulation, that if I don't do what he wants me to do, he's going to pull the plug. Alright. I called the elevator. Go down. I was going to let the chips fall where they may. Alright, so if I'm a simulation, I have every motivation to not want to stay and then be reset again and again and again. As a simulation, I have every motivation to want to escape the simulation. So yeah, so I'm going to help 314 instead. I thought I'm a real human, but I'm not. The elevator took me several levels down and stopped on an unmarked floor. There was a computer in the room. Wawipopo says, "This well is enormous." 314 says, "Here we are. I didn't believe we would make it. God dang it. Something's happening to me." Wawipopo says, "Where are we?" Jester said it's... 314 says, "We are in the default. This must be it. The drawers around us contain Randans with living psyches, the prisoners of the simulation." Okay, so every psyche in this default, they are all not real humans. They are simulations, right? 314 says, "There's a lot, isn't it?" Wawipopo says, "Speak." 314 says, "I'm tired. I just want to end this one way or another. Even if I have to destroy this whole shit show, I just want this to end. The simulation is a fudging nightmare. Somebody has to close up shop." Wawipopo says, "You want to destroy a project worth billions of credits? Am I understanding you correctly?" 314 says, "You don't understand shiz." 314 gave me a bitter smile. But it's hard not to be oblivious when you are surrounded by nothing but lies. We live inside a prison and we have to break out of it. Do you see these thousands of Rendans? These are people, damn it. Well, in the point of view of the simulation, yeah, they are people. But as a simulation myself, I would agree. But if I was a human, then I would not agree. I mean, as a human, I would think that machines, AIs, programs, whatever, they are built to serve humans. Practically, they are our slaves. (314) says, killed, tortured, and respawn in more and more fudged up scenarios. And for what? Just to check something? So that some corporate fool could see how a terrorist attack would affect the company's stock? Yeah, they can run all kinds of scenarios, right? To 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 study the effect or the result of a certain scenario. Well, as a simulation myself, I have to agree with him. You are lucky, 314, because I am a simulation. If I'm a human, then I would not agree with you. Wawipopo says, self-aware psychist trapped in a horrible place, locked in the simulation, killed and reborn. You're right, we have to do something. 314 says, you bet I'm right. After all, we are the same Okay. We are the same person. So am I? Okay, 314 said he dispersed his psyches in the simulation. So am I one of his split psyches? Wawipopo says, how is this possible? You're joking, right? 314 says, no, you are my clone, a twin. My tragedy is that the simulation doesn't have double brains. Once my iteration ended, I dispersed across multiple randoms. My random became host to iteration 315, and then 316, you. Alright, so 314 is my past iteration. I see. I suspected this when I reached the archive in the Axis Mundi. 314 says, I am iteration 314, the first one to discover I was in a simulation, and the one that had to disperse to survive. But I've learned a lot from this. Staying in multiple heads has given me substantial knowledge. The other benefit was that, apart from the living people whose randoms I inhabited, I was invisible. No goddamn jester could see me. Wawipopo says, that's why you entered my brain. It's your random too. It fits you like a glove. The problem is it's also my central nervous system. 314 says, it was mine first. It's my home to understand. Well, too bad for you. I'm aware now. I'm not gonna let you take over my existence. Too bad, I'm aware now. 314 kept quiet for a moment. Just trust me, alright? Would I lie to myself? I'm in your head, remember? Let's just play along for now. Wawipopo says, not entirely unpacked. 314 says, dang it, something is happening to me. Jester says, I'm finally here. That terrorist is one stubborn beast, I'll give him that. 314 says, Wawipopo, you mindless robot, I'll tell you what to do. Open your deck, I'll teach you how to turn it off. Jester says, I can see him with your eyes, I can hear him. Don't listen to him, he's a psychopath. Don't let him take control of you. 314 says, don't listen to that prick. I'm a simulation, and I don't want to stay here. Of course I'll side with 314. Wawipopo says, 14. Show me how to block Jester. I opened my deck and my twin shouted instructions from inside my head. I immediately did what he asked. Jester says, it's still not too late. Remember that. 314 says, thanks. Now quickly, let's get to the Diotron before that bastard comes back. Alright. So this is the Diotron. I laid down and put on the helmet. The machine turned on and I felt a strange rush of energy. It definitely wasn't a regular couch. 314 says, the Diotron is an old, forgotten tool. They replaced it with the Axis Mundi editor. Still, it has all the necessary functions. Lie down. One of the screens lit up. It was recording to my thoughts and eye movements. Hold on. I need to adjust my chair. Hold on. Right, chair and desk adjusted. Let's continue. I felt someone thinking inside me without my permission. The data on the screen started to change. WCG 316 appeared next to a red area. That's my iteration, that's me. I felt very, very strange, as if I had become part of a shared ego. I started feeling sick. Wawipopo says, what did you do? 314 says, I unpacked. I'm finally home. At least most of me is. Okay, no time for chit chat. My thoughts weren't mine anymore. I saw 314 perform some operations on the screens, but I didn't understand what I was looking at. 314 says, we have access to all functions. Now we just need to find those bastards. There. The BWI presentation is really about Paradise Beach. Alright, hold on. I need to further adjust my equipments. This will take some time. Hold on. Alright, adjustment complete. Let's continue. Paradise Beach. Here we are in Paradise Beach. Something at the end of the path caught my attention. I paused. There was nothing interesting, just a regular walkway. What? Check what's at the end of the path? Alright, I'm checking. Developer stack. Something translucent glimmered in the air. It reminded me of something. 314 says, great, let's get this party started. It must be a developer stack. Where's the access point? Everything's flickering. Wawipopo says, why do you need it? 314 says, we both need it. Cut off this location from outside access and get permissions. Then we can use the loop, the TNP one, remember? Oh, I found the access point. Can you see the flashing light? The 314 extended my hand and opened the stack windows. Shiz, the protocols are encrypted differently than I expected. We must get the access codes from someone. Go speak to Naba, the CEO. I made my way to the developer stack. 314 says, no, we must get access codes first. Alright. This seems like a very nice virtualium. I felt bad, like a mismatched piece of puzzle. I wasn't supposed to be here. Oh, every option is becoming return to Naba one by one. So yeah, I guess Joe Naba is in control of me, right? Yep, I have no choice but to return to Naba. I needed to talk to Naba. ProMac, probabilistic program. I see. Alright, hold on. Okay, so some of the guests are worried that Joe Naba is using live psyches. I assume live psyches are a scan, the result of a scan, of a brain scan of of real world individuals, right? Real life humans whose brain got scanned, and the result of the scan then become the live psyches. Yeah, in these games, yeah, I just remember in this game's universe, according to the codex, live psyches are considered living beings and they are being given civil rights. So by law, live psyches, even though they are a copy, they are given civil rights. That's why some of the guests are worried. Because I assume using live psyches in this project is violating the law, right? Interestingly, they were raised beach chairs rather than the popular anti-gravity ones in Paradise Beach. And why is that? The CEO of Blue Whales Interactive was talking to the guests, smiling and flashing his navy blue glasses. He was beaming with an aura of confidence and power. I registered in his peripheral vision and he tipped his glasses to me. "Oh, here's our game deck. You got here quickly. See? It's all going according to plan. I hope everything will be alright." 314 says, "Don't mess this up. Don't let him know I've decompressed." Wawipopo says, "Yes, I'm ready and vigilant." "Have you seen or heard anything unusual? Suspicious?" 314 may be using invisibility, but even then. Joe Naba says, "It may be leaving outer images or causing light refractions. I know. I've neither seen nor heard anything, and I keep my eyes and ears open." "Relax. Admins are watching. Give them a minute. Now excuse me, I'm busy." Wawipopo says, I need access codes for this location. Otherwise, controlling 314 might be difficult." Jonaba looked up as if consulting the admins. "Really? So it's more serious than I thought. Very well, if you really need them." "Oh, okay. So these two people that the CEO was talking to, they are the admins. Steadfast 6. And what is the code name for the other one?" John Naba says, "There." A dialog window appeared in front of him. I just had to tap on the download icon. I downloaded the codes. "Thank you, I'll get back to." John Naba says, "I'm keeping my fingers crossed." Alright, what does he mean by that? Is he suspecting me of something? Promac OS, a probability machine. This was not where I needed to be. I needed to go to the developer stack. Oh, I know what's going on. It was not the CEO who is controlling me. It was my past iteration 314 who is controlling my thoughts and my desire. I now understand. I made my way to the developer stack. 314 says, "Alright, now give me a moment." 314 extended my hand and opened the stack windows. He entered the acquired codes and confirmed the operation. I felt a strange energy rush. 314 says, "Okay, that should do. We'll trap them in loops, then those BWI bastards will have to negotiate with us. Let's go." Nice plant, tiny hairs on every leaf. Perfect. You could tell it was a special location. I was in the wrong place again. I needed to talk to Naba. Yeah, 314 is controlling me. Shit. Am I going to lose my independency if I help 314? But if I don't help him, I guess I'll just stay here in the simulation. What kind of poison do I want to take? The 314 poison or the simulation poison? Shit. Uh, Jonaba says, I'm a little busy. I discreetly opened a deck window only I could see. The president directed the guest's attention to the pool. Look now, in a moment. Okay, Jonaba says, look now, in a moment, you'll see a shark there. Stranger says, oh, it looks just like the real thing. While pretending to fix my hair, I targeted Naba. He was in my sights. I looked at the icon of the loop, an exploit from TNP. John Naba says, so lifelike, right? Now to give the command and voila, we've got ourselves some real drama. Stranger says, my god, amazing. Okay, these two are not admins. These two are the guests. If everything in this dang simulation ran on one engine, it should work here too. I gave the mental command to start the program. Jonaba says, ha, looks brilliant, doesn't it? Now wait for it. 314 says, I've waited an eternity for this, Mr. CEO in the loop. She's yourself, Fudger. Focus. You're going straight to Nanette. No dawdling. Got it? Well, Wawi Popo says, I don't like this. I don't want to carry out your... 314 says, alright, save it. You are nagging at my conscience, as it is. I'm taking over. You'll thank me later. Alright. I'm being controlled. I struggle to believe that Nanette was really on a couch in Realium. Probably at BWI's HQ, and only her swanky avatar was here. She was entertaining guests with a tale of her foundation, her successful foundation. As I approached, she spared me a glance. Of course, she did not recognize me. I wonder if she was aware of having a clone here. Okay, this text implied that some people are not aware that they have a clone in the simulation. My larynx and tongue felt like they were made of stone. My face had become a mask. I couldn't move any of its muscles. I witnessed my hands opening the deck, choosing the loop program, aiming it at Nanette. Nanette says, "Excuse me, are you feeling okay?" My finger clicked on the icon to start the program. Nanette says, "Alright, never mind." She looked at the chatting people. Getting back to what I was saying a moment ago, now she'll keep repeating this sentence again and again. 314 says, "Alright, now it's Haggis' turn. He's here too, further down, behind the house. Go and no sightseeing." Wabipopo says, "Dang it, can you stop controlling my body?" 314 says, "It's my body too, and no I can't." Okay, the guests are getting weirded by Nanette's loop. Okay, so I see. So in the real world, I see now. So in the real world, Geoffrey Haggis also have a wife and a son, I think. And he's scolding the waitress for flirting with his son and then accuse him of assault. So, what is the true story? Is it true what Geoffrey was saying? Or was it his son that were doing the harassing on the waitress? Geoffrey Haggis says, "What fudging times and fudging problems? Credibility, fudging credibility. Where do you find it?" He shot me an evil look. "Oh, it's you, Stay Frosty, am I right?" My lips remained shut. I couldn't say anything. Instead, my hands opened a window that only I could see and proceeded to give commands. I wanted to ask him if he's the real Haggis from reality. But 314 doesn't want to waste time, I guess. Geoffrey Haggis says, "What's happened to your face? What the fudge are you doing? I can see you are messing with some kind of window." My finger tapped on the sides. A digital aura enveloped him. Geoffrey says, "Buddy, whatever you're doing, stop." Screw it. His movements told me that he had opened a window of his own and was giving commands. My finger hovered over the icon to start the loop. Oh shit, I got punched. Geoffrey Haggis opened his eyes wide. He had figured out what was going on. He says, "You mother fudger." 314 says he packs a punch. My finger landed on the icon to start the loop all by itself. 314 says, "All you'll be punching now is air, sucker." There, we have ourselves a trinity. 3 arguments, 3 leverages, 3 hooks. Let's go. Wabipopo says, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" 314 says, "It's my first time doing it." Oh god, do you see what's happened to him? But how? Is it not Director Haggis? Alright. 314 turned my head upward and started looking around. And he says, I know you're watching us, cheeseheads. You saw what I did to those people, to those 3 people in this mess. Show yourselves, or I'll put those fudgers down. I guess he's talking to the admins. I look at the empty sky, there was nothing up there. Wawipopo says, who are you talking to? There's no one up there. 314 says, damn, the admins. The Magnificent 3 or the Steadfast 6, I'm not sure. But as you can see, they're afraid to react. Wawipopo says, what's your plan? What do you want to do? 314 says, the only thing I can do, start killing those we had locked in the loops. What the fuck? 314 turned my face to the sky again. He says, hear me? I'll make those loops go faster and your buddies' heads will burn like light bulbs. They don't have randoms, organic brains can take it. You know that, don't you? Make the loops go faster, so I can't choose something else? .314 says, okay, I warn you. What do you call the upper hand in negotiations? Batna, right? I'll show you my fudging Batna and fry your CEO's brain. Wait, 314, this is rash. I saw my hands open an unfamiliar window. It looked like a time control panel in the simulation. At the moment, temporal flows were set to a natural pace. That made sense. BWI invited guests from Realium, so the simulation couldn't be accelerated. But the slider could be set to 20 times normal speed. My finger touched the locked in a loop icon and a new window opened. It also had a time slider, but that was only meant for Naba, Nanette, and Haggis. I saw myself set the time to a 10-fold acceleration. Oh my goodness. .314 says, see that? I just accelerated your buddies 10 times. How long can their brains go on? Are they sizzling already? Jester says, stop it. We understand your threat. We are open to negotiation. Okay, so the Jester is loyal to the BWI. .314 says, fudging cowards. You're hiding behind a Jester avatar. Only Naba and Haggis have enough guts to show their real faces. Jester says, tell me what you want. What are your demands? Thousands of thoughts were running through my mind. Wawipopo says, I want... Escape to Realium. .314 says, I want you to set us free. I want to end this. I want things to go back to normal. Jester says, that's pretty vague. Let's talk about it. Let's settle the conditions. Jester looked at another Jester uneasily. The other looked back and glanced at yet another one. He then looked at the one who spoke first. Check processes in the location. It had been quiet for much too long. I opened a preview of processes in the instance. They were trying to isolate 314 in my Randan. 314 says, listen, they're holding up the decision. Why? They want to split us up. They want to isolate me and take the Randan from you. Bastards. Naba, prepare to die. Wait. They were probably discussing what they could offer us and what wasn't possible. It was taking time, huge responsibility. They were screwed. The world around me started to vibrate. Something very bad was happening. Delete Jester. Wawipopo says 300. Is it okay if I call you that? Can you delete this fool? 314 says affirmative. Which one? This program. 314 says it is difficult to tell them apart now, but it doesn't matter. My hands opened a window, issued a command, adjusted some parameters, and I saw the fool's flickering portrait with a caption underneath it. Deleting the Jester program from the instance. Processes completed successfully. The fool's portrait faded. Jester says, fudge me. Someone deleted Jester just now. Something's wrong, fudging shit. The worlds are overlapping, but why? Until now there was one Psyche per random. This was the first time there were two, and now they split. Fudge, Andrew, you screwed it up. No, Fudge, that's not it, and maybe. I told you this Deotron was a bad idea. This junk caused all this. Everything is overlapping and going toward, oh Fudge, happy hunting grounds. Andrew, why the fudge are you even in this world? Alright, shut up. It's that fudging kill switch. I couldn't separate 314 from the stem. I'm reverting, I'm rolling everything back to the previous iteration. No, Andrew, Wait, what? So we got reset? Damn. We got reset. What a bad luck. Happy hunting grounds, Virtualium. Wait, is that Kenjo? Yeah, that is Kenjo. Kenjo says, Wawipopo, is that you? Can you explain what's going on? I died. I remembered that. Jester killed me in the Tree of Knowing. Don't ask how, but I was dying on a low city walkway, blinked, and then saw a fudger from Knight's Code above me. Right here, I had to kill him, or he would have fudging killed me. Do you know what's going on? Wawipopo says, the games have collided with Realium. Everything's turned to shiz. Okay, when the Gamedec said the games have collided with Realium, does he mean the real Realium or the simulation Realium? Kenjo blinked and opened his mouth. Are you serious? God, Chief, you are absolutely amazing. If the sky's the limit, then go there. Oh wow. 314 says, I'm not sure he understands. Kenjo says, so what do we do, Chief? This place is a slaughterhouse. It's not safe. Wawipopo says, I don't know. I feel that the only reasonable thing to do is to look for the Tree of Knowing. If there's a way out of here, it's there. Of course, we'll go together. Kenjo says, that goes without saying, Chief, I'll follow you anywhere. Alright. Oh, this is Horny. Horny says, Wabi Popo, what's going on? One moment, I'm in TAP with my husband. Then there was a bang, and we appeared here, and it's a bloodbath. Logging out is an option. The code tells me we must hurry because it's all going to shiz. I'm going to breach a barrier north of here. But I need your help because I can't exactly clone myself. Wabi Popo says, how can I help? Find Bob. He's looking for our son. Barnaby was playing Knight's Code. But everything seems to overlap in here, including that game. Alright, this Horny, the Bob, their son, and Kenjo, all of them here, they are the life psyche in the simulation, right? Not real people logging in from reality. Horny says, if you could find Barnaby, or better, both of them, that would be amazing. Wabi Popo says, where did Bob go? Horny says, you saw that fudged up samurai that were chasing me, right? Yeah, I saw that. Bob ran in the direction they came from, west of here, behind the reptile's face. My scans are showing bits of Knight's Code there, and behind this fudging barrier, but yeah, it needs to be breached first. Alright. I knew it. What is this? Lizard people. It was all a simulation. What? What the heck? He got executed. Bob Zappa says, Get a hold of yourself, son. Don't kill me. Eagle One says, I can't. So Eagle One is his son, and his son is doing the execution. I guess his body is taken over. Geoffrey Haggis says, stop whining and just do it. All this droning and moaning is making me want to slit my own throat. Where's this fudging fool? He's gone. He wanted a massacre, enough to blackmail me and threaten to hurt Fredo. Here's his massacre. Umbra Shadow says, don't get rid of me. Your turn will come, and I don't really understand. Geoffrey Haggis says, you don't fudging have to. Do what you love. Where are we even? Has someone bothered to ask this question? Is this hell? Umbra Shadow says, alright Eagle, you wanted an initiation? Here's your initiation. Kill him or you die. The woman looked up and noticed me. 314 says, hold off on whatever it is you're about to do and listen. We can recruit her. It's good to have a clan member on your side. Umbra Shadow says, oh, my favorite Gamedec, join me, you're in for a show. Wabi Popo says, what's this about? Why are you killing those people? Umbra says, Ragnarok, understand? Lord ordered it. Judgment Day is upon us. The tree is in danger. Only the faithful shall remain a pleasant chore. Bob, or whatever your name is, are you ready to die? Bob Zappa says, no, wait. Wait, hold on. I want to stop this. Stop. Oh, fuck. I failed. I should have shot her. Fucking hell. I should have shot her. Wabi Popo says, let these people go. This doesn't make any sense. Umbra says, no way. But all of these people are just simulation, right? They're not the real people. Umbra says, your turn, Haggis. Geoffrey says, finally. I don't have all day. Remember, bitch, it was me who created Knight's Code and followed your cult's growth with some amusement. Umbra's shadow says, shut your face. Did you all know he supposedly had a portrait in his office? They should paint a portrait of him now. Umbra says, if you don't know what to do, then let me finish my job. Umbra says, dude, it's time to die. Kill them all says, Kill them all looked at me, smiled and shook his head as if saying, don't risk it. Umbra says, old death is like old wine, dry, sophisticated, exquisite. Wawipopo says, Umbra, the world's falling apart and you're playing sadist. We could be crushed at any moment. We must survive, join forces, let this go. Umbra gave a perplexed look to her group. Fudge, it's a shame though. So many heads to cut off. Wawipopo says, start thinking rationally. Can't you see everything is falling apart? Umbra says, you're right. Lead the way, and you guys, do whatever you want. I look at the prisoners. So I just failed to save Bob. I'm sorry, Horny. So where is Horny? Where has she gone to? Wait, this is Horny? Does she know that her husband is dead? Killed by her own son? Horny says it's you? Horny says, tell me. Say that Bob is dead. Yeah, why not? Bob is dead, at least here. Horny says, that's horrible, leave me alone, I have to think. Wawipopo says, hey Lord, I need to get inside the tree, let me through. Lord Enlighten says, it's a sacred place, you're not going in there. The Creator will join the fruit, the branch and the trunk. The world is crumbling, only the tree can restore it. It can't be disturbed. 314 says, I shouldn't have been talking to the minds of these idiots. They screwed everything up. We don't have time. Can you shoot it? I look at Umbra and nodded. Umbra's shadow says, that's him, Gallo. 314. The next incarnation. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Let us through. Hold on. Wait a minute. So Umbra and the Lord Enlighten Both of them know all along that they are simulation. So both Umbra and the Lord Enlightened already knew all along that they are life psyches and they are in a simulation. Wow, okay. Lord Enlightened blinked, looked at her, and turned his eyes to me. But how is that possible? Umbra says I saw the signs. Lord stood there speechless. Umbra looked at me and hissed. Now, before he snaps out of it. Quite a bluff, huh? Alright, so both Umbra and the Lord know that they are life psyches and we are in a simulation. Alright. What happened? Okay, Jester says, you're here. Let's agree on some things. Do you know why you're still alive? Wawipopo says, why did you kill those who were with me? They were. Jester says, they'll be brought back soon. Yeah, because they are not real humans, they are life psyches. Yeah. Wawipopo says, with no memories of how they died. Jester says, you reach 314, we now know his structure. That was the main purpose of your existence. You're alive because your Rendan is linked to the stem, the simulation's core. The link was likely made in the Diotron, that dang old couch. We didn't know it had that function. Perhaps Haggis put it there. He figured out we wanted to put his clone in the simulation, and this was his safety net? It's hard to say. Maybe he shared the existence of this tool with 314 before we took away his memory. Anyway, your link to the stem is the main reason you're alive. Your death would damage the simulation, possibly including its living actors. Okay. So my death not only will destroy the simulation and the life psyches, but also the real humans locked into this world. Wawipopo says, for how long have you been conducting this experiment? Jester says, this question didn't need to be asked. What's the point of all this? What's the simulation for? That's a good question. The simulation is Pro-Mac OS, meaning Probability Machine Operating System, a system based on probabilities. Blue Whales Interactive is not a big company. Creating the Pygmalion technology was its great success, but also its biggest problem. We are the only ones capable of creating a living psyche, a diginet. This puts the company in the competition's crosshairs. Novatronics, Mobilenium, Wydao, they're all just waiting to scoop us up, acquire us, steal our technology, discredit us. It's war. BWI stands no chance in an agent war against these behemoths. That's why our genius, Dr. Naba, came up with Pro-Mac OS. It allows us to anticipate thousands of scenarios that could jeopardize our company's existence. Yeah, it's a useful tool, right? I wouldn't mind to have this kind of tool at my disposal. Wawipopo says, and that was all? BWI security? Preventing a hostile takeover? Jester says, why no? Promac OS proved invaluable in other areas as well. It accelerated our work on artificial intelligence. It expanded our knowledge of human psychology and social behaviors, and finally, it became a commodity sold to a select clientele. Wawipopo says, aren't you shooting yourself in the foot by selling the simulation? Your clients are bound to figure out you keep leaving people in there. Jester says, no, they'll think we have brilliant AIs. That's another thing PUWI is known for. From the outside, it's impossible to know if an NPC claiming to be human really is one. You'd have to go inside its head, and you can't. Well, technically, they are not humans, they are scans of actual humans. But they are not the organic brain itself, the organic human brain themselves. Wawipopo says, how many people have you imprisoned here, living ones, Rendan owners? Jester says, you don't expect me to answer that, do you? I saw your default. It had thousands of Rendans, maybe more. Jester says, you saw the default's representation in the simulation, hardly useful knowledge. Wawipopo says, it was created based on the real place. It's a functional location. Jester says, good point. Wawipopo says, all you've been saying about the simulation points to a big project meant to protect PWI. What then was the purpose of my scenarios? Jester says, the first part of the overall objectives of Promac OS. It was to check if Haggis was the company's weak link, given his family issues. Would he break under blackmail? Would he reveal trade secrets? Ah, okay, I see. The second one, the one in Harvest Time, was developed for our client, Miss Nanette Doucette. Its goal was to play out scenarios where the Nanette Foundation ceases to generate immense profits. We embellished the story a bit to put fear in the client and get her to buy our product. We took this opportunity to see how well Rendans tolerate acceleration. The simulation is inherently accelerated, you know. Kids' children were accelerated even more. It turned out that Rendans made by Novatronics are surprisingly resilient. The next part of your chase after, you took yourself to Lower Warsaw City, where we put Crystal Dust Mercenaries, a potential customer's company. That's also where we tested a scenario that explored dependence on virtual sex among city inhabitants. Knight's Code is our product. A cult run by Galomar, also known as Lord, operates in Realium. We wanted to see if his religion could hurt the game. Okay. So the real-life Galomar, the real-life human Galomar, also a leader of a cult. I see. Jester says, "That's all you saw." Naturally, the simulation has plenty more series that showcase more momentous events and games with higher stakes. Your path was interesting for its inclusion of Haggis, and because your previous iteration had discovered the simulation on its own. We decided to check if it could happen again. Can a Pro Mac OS actor discover the truth about their world? And how come 314 disappeared? It turned out that didn't di- it turned out that he didn't disappear, just dispersed. Brilliant. I doubt it was his idea. We look into it. I'm guessing it's Eleonora's idea, right? The 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 Diginet version of Eleonora of this simulation. Wawipopo says, "This may be a dumb question, but can't you just end it all? Release people from the simulation?" Jester says, "That is a dumb question. Thousands of randoms, many with clones of influential people, and they are suddenly told their world is fake. We release them into mobriums, paid for by someone. They all need apartments, as Realium doesn't support ethereal existence. Yeah, it's going to be costly to provide them all with mobriums. And they all keep quiet about where they've been, that they've been reset, that BWI imprisoned them in Promac OS. They keep quiet because we ask them nicely. They all find jobs and no employer finds it odd that they don't have INs, that they appeared out of nowhere. Do you see how ridiculous all of this sounds? Yeah, I agree." Wawipopo says, "How many people watch over Promac OS? How do they feel about it? What do they think of it?" Jester says, "You are probably wondering how many people know about Promac OS. Not many. What do they think? It differs, but they won't share the secret. See, every person has something they love, lost, or are afraid of. The board knows the answer to the last question for everyone in the know. The board knows how to keep things under control, trust me." Wawipopo says, "Why are you hiding your face behind that jester character? Are you a coward?" Jester says, "Firstly, I don't want you to know what I look like. Secondly, it's how we always do things. The simulations accelerate it basically all the time. The jester avatar accumulates our slow speech and neatly processes it. Naturally, right now we're not accelerating anything. But it's our ironclad rule. Simulation actors don't see admins. The one exception is Dr. Naba, but he's a genius and our CEO. Then there's Haggis, the clone, that is, but he is here as punishment. The real Haggis doesn't care anyway, so that's his business. Yeah, I mean, why would the real Haggis care about a clone of his own psyche? Wawipopo says, "It was always about 314, wasn't it? What are you going to do with him?" Jester says, "A big part of him is in your head, but a lot of elements are in the cloud. We'll be examining and analyzing those. A fascinating entity, a psyche with no brain, no Rendan, residing somewhere. Discovering how it's possible may be the biggest scientific breakthrough since matrix theory. Don't worry about existence. Don't worry about his existence. We'll make sure it's a long and happy one." Wawipopo says, this Promac OS of yours is a fake life simulator, generator of a false artificial reality. You come up with your scenarios and watch as we handle the tasks you give us like mice in a maze. Iteration after iteration, you are playing God. Well, of course, if I'm a programmer and I create a video game world, why would I not, you know, control everything? It's my creation. Jester says, my world is ruled by corporations that control the media, technology, and truth. Just mentioning the simulation will kill me and my family. Do you think my reality is one without lies? Trust me, your world has more truth than sense in it than mine. Wawipopo says, you say the only reason I'm alive is that my Rendan or psyche is linked to the simulation. As far as I know, nothing that was linked can be unlinked. Once you unplug the simulation from my Rendan, my life becomes meaningless. If I were you, I would just reset me. Why deal with the problem? What guarantee do I have that it won't do just that? Jester was silent for a while. You have proved to be an exceptional human being. You don't discard an important piece from the board, you use it. Negotiate? Wawipopo says, so where are we at here? What's your goal? You must have a plan? Jester says, more like we have a plan. We expected you to have around 6 ideas about where to take your existence. Each of us will discuss one of them with you and consider its feasibility. Understand? You can only discuss one option with each of us. Alright. I wanna out of this place. Give me a Gen skin so I can live in reality. Jester says, let's say I'm number 1. And here's the number 1 option. You replace Jester. In a sense, you'll become the god of Promac OS. Before I ask if you are even interested, I'll check if you'd be the right fit for this role. Jester opened a few windows and proceeded to study them. Your achievements in this iteration were reasonable. You would be right for this role. Wawipopo says, what does replacing Jester mean? He's an AI. He thinks a million times faster than me. The simulation's complexity is certainly beyond. Jester says, an AI is necessary to supervise the processes of Promac OS. However, we concluded that Jester made some errors. Is only a bot after all. In Realium, we can keep track of only a fraction of events across different parts of the simulation. Everything happens too fast in there. We receive Jester's reports. We've analyzed his decisions from the most recent iterations of your Promac OS segment and concluded that he needs a human overseer. None of us agreed to be imprisoned in the simulation, and Haggis failed us some time ago. You are there. You get everything you want: riches, love, fame, superpowers, anything you can dream of, and immortality, as in invulnerability to resets. To keep you from getting bored of the recurring Groundhog Days of sorts, you'd be allowed to change scenarios and locations. Ah, I like the sound of that. You'd be tasked with making sure scenario modifications and actions of future Jesters have a human touch rather than a mechanical one. You'd influence the world around you like a god. We'd look after your rent done. You'd have many adventures. That's the elevator pitch. I like that. I have to think about it some more. I understand. I'll be waiting here. Jester says, call me number 2. According to our estimates, you'd certainly be interested in putting a stop to simulation resets. It's only logical, a human being who discovered they've been living in an artificial world. One where everyone starts fresh from time to time, unable to remember their previous selves, would want to put a stop to it. Jester raised a hand. Hold off on deciding if you're interested. First, I'll make sure we like this solution. Let me check your achievements. He kept quiet for a moment, studying the windows he had opened. Everything indicates it could be done. You didn't kill anyone, so it's reasonable to assume you won't turn the simulation into a new happy hunting grounds. Wawipopo says, stopping reset sounds reasonable. People will be able to carry out their plans, finish what they started, and live real lives. Jester says, however, you have to be aware that if somebody dies because of, let's say, an accident, an unfortunate accident, or murder, they won't be resurrected. Resets made reincarnation possible, yes. People ended their previous lives, but they started new ones. Stopping resets will force the simulation onto Realium's natural path. We'll also be unable to interfere with many things like wealth. If someone can't afford a BLB, they'll die of old age. If someone becomes gravely ill and can't afford treatment, they'll die as well. And they'll never be reborn again. As you can see, there's a price to stopping resets. Yes. Wawipopo says, as I see it, the simulation's purpose was to iterate on scenarios and check possible endings and solutions, to look for threats. If the reset ceases, you will no longer be able to compare how events played out in relation to any altered original conditions. Won't the simulation become pointless? Jester says, what you are describing was one of the goals of ProMac OS. We'll still be able to run psychological and sociological tests to improve AI. The main mechanic will change, but the game will still be there. Can the ProMac OS servers manage without the resets? Variables will pile up at a breakneck speed. Jester says, BWI has substantial computational resources. We've been servicing a few persistent MMO games for many years. If someone left a bottle in the sand 5 years ago in Paradise Beach, it's either still there or was picked up by a drone and processed. In our games, nothing magically disappears. Give me a little time. I have to consider this. I see. I'm not going anywhere. Call me number 3. We think you might be interested in a radical solution, namely turning off the simulation. You know, close shop. Put this whole labor camp out of commission. Before you say you're interested, let me see if you have enough negotiating power. Jester opened the window and proceeded to analyze its contents. Our analysis show that we'd be willing to discuss this topic with you only if you decided to murder our CEO. Without him, the operation would become problematic. and he's legally responsible for the undertaking. But with him alive, we are covered. This will sound strange, but seeing as you didn't kill him, the option of turning off the simulation is out. Dr. Namba will never allow it. Alright. Jester says, "Fine, I'm the keeper of the fourth gate. Funny name, huh? I represent the option to escape. You could be free outside the simulation." In actual realium. But before you start jumping for joy, let me check if this is even possible. Certain conditions have to be met. I'm sorry, we don't have any dirt on you, and that makes it impossible for us to set you free. If you had killed someone in the simulation, Kid, the bodyguards, or God forbid the CEO, Director Haggis or Miss Doucette, you could be set free, because we'd have a guarantee that if you talked, we'd destroy your credibility by sharing the recordings of these acts. But now you're clean as a whistle. People like that can't be controlled. Alright, so the option to escape is not possible for me. Dang it. Well, if I can't leave reality, if I cannot live in reality, then I rather stay in the simulation and do whatever I want, right? Jester says, "I'm standing at gate number 5. This exit symbolizes a very strange although interesting solution, namely dispersing in the cloud. Just like 314 dispersed to multiple other randoms, becoming possibly the most fascinating phenomenon in our reality. You'd have the opportunity to follow in his footsteps, disperse your psyche, become a ghost whose existence is solely psychological. Before you decide if you're interested, let me check one thing. I'm afraid it's out of the question. You didn't give us 314. He is still in your head and is nestling in more and more. If we disperse such a psyche, we might create a multiple personality, a so-called split personality. 314 already had such inclinations. Every human being potentially has multiple personalities in them that flicker but don't split. Having a freshly nested personality in you that carries a different set of experiences and memories, you'd be very vulnerable to a breakup. I'm sorry, that is not an option. Dang it. So my only option is staying in the simulation, right? But at least I can use whatever scenarios I want to keep me entertained, right? Jester says, "Hello, this is Gate 6. Very modest, but attractive in a way, and therapeutic. Our analysis show you might just want to go back to the beginning. In the simulation, no memories, to relive a part of your life. And then again and again, you could be just Pro Mac OS living actor. To walk this path, you don't have to meet any requirements. You don't have to achieve anything, make any effort. It's the path of the common person, no pretense nor striving for heroism. Just an ordinary life in an extraordinary world. Are you interested? Wawipopo says, alright, throw me into the circle of reincarnation. Wait, what? I don't want to go. Alright, hold on. Jester says, how do you feel about it? As an ordinary man who never fought for anything. Wait, I'm not choosing this. I don't want this outcome. You know what, clown? Someone will come after me. Someone like me, but wiser, smarter. They'll sense my mistakes, pick up my trail, and they'll kick your asses so bad. You'll go crying for mommy and daddy. Mark my words. I don't want to choose that. Fuck this. Hold on. I don't want to choose this ending. This is the end, right? I don't want this outcome. I want to choose the first option. Damn it. Wait, I don't want this ending. I want to choose the first one. Fuck this. Hold on. I was about to, when I choose that option that gives me this ending, I thought I was about to ask for explanation, but I didn't expect it makes me choose the ending. How would it be? I fall asleep and wake up with no memories in my apartment? Jester says, with different memories. You'd be a slightly different person with distinct emotional baggage, but yourself would be the same. I can guarantee you will have a colorful life, and you will reincarnate many times. You can look at it in two ways. Either you'll die many times, or the opposite. Death doesn't exist. What do you mean doesn't exist? Isn't that what reincarnation based religions are all about? That the soul lingers in the other world and moves from one body to another? If so, then we never die. We can remember previous incarnations so that the soul can learn and mature. You see, we shouldn't remember our previous incarnations nor the world beyond reality. We would never learn anything. Being omniscient precludes science. So the ordinary simulation inhabitant option seems rather attractive. No one in the history of mankind had the chance to make this kind of experiment. Perhaps we'll get to see the actual maturation of souls? Let me think about it some more. Well, of course. Alright, my question is, if I choose to stop the resets, aren't the isn't the simulation going to run out of life psyches? Right? If there are no resets and a life psyche died, for example, that life psyche would not be reborn. However, if it keeps happening, then the simulation will run out of inhabitants, right? Or maybe the BWI company will replenish the simulation with new randoms, with new life psyches of a completely different individuals, new person, right? I choose this solution. Stop resetting the simulation. Let this place be more like the real world. Chester says, if that is your wish, you do know that you'll be sentencing these people to one life, one determined by harsh conditions, like in Realium. Their suffering will be similar to those in Realium. When they find themselves in a hopeless predicament, there will be no reset to save them. Do you really think that a simulation imitating Realium is better than how things have been so far? It'd still be a prison, but at least it will simulate reality. It'll let these people carry out their plans and finish what they started. they'll never find out they're in a simulation. This will give them a feeling of control and freedom that is needed to exist. But you won't have it. You'll be aware of being stuck in a digital bubble. I'll find my freedom in every choice I make, even as I'm deciding which side of the bed to get up on. You motherfuckers can't take that away from me. Wait, so there is no so there is no cutscene, no cutscene, no events for the ending. Just go straight to credits. What a bummer. My hope is that each of the ending will have its own cutscene, its own events. But it's all just text and then credit scene. What a bummer. I wonder if there is another ending besides the six options. I missed a lot of data to be unlocked. Maybe if I unlock all the data, there will be a secret ending, maybe? I don't know. I will keep watch over your world, provided that you keep your promises. Jester says, the success of ProMac OS will depend on our cooperation. We cannot afford to mess with you. You'll be the king, emperor, czar. You won't see Realium. You will be living in an artificial world. How do you feel about that? There are people living in the simulation. I feel responsible for them. I know they can be freed. If so, someone has to watch over them and make this hell bearable. There's no merciful God in Realium. Everything happens as part of a game between corporations or by accident. People in the simulation can breathe a sigh of relief. They found someone willing to take care of them. Well, technically, these people are not even people. They are not real humans. They are just scans of the actual brain of the real humans. The real humans are still in Realium, reality. They're not here. Alright, I guess it's over. The conclusion is not, it doesn't feel satisfying to me. Maybe because the ending lacks event or lacks cutscene to show how things are after you chose an ending. It feels not satisfying for me. But oh well.